Ahoy, morning brothers, and welcome to Friday. It's Friday, and I'm back.
It's Friday. The skipper's back.
The skipper's back in the house. I see nobody wore the skipper hat.
Well,
while was away.
I think Rachel might have put it on.
She touched it,
but only briefly.
Did she put it on? Good for her.
Maybe not. I can't remember.
I don't know. I couldn't watch every day. I did watch one show live, and I started watching another one later, and then got called away.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get to watch, but I intend to do so.
You're a busy guy.
Well, I like to keep track of you guys.
Yeah.
I enjoy the show too. So
Well,
it's part of me.
It is, and we appreciate that you're back. we made it through, but it's always better when the whole crew's sitting here, right?
It's fun. It's good to be back. So we have Boss Man Matt with us this morning.
Ahoy, skipper.
Been running the helm. She's been at the helm while I'm in my absence.
But I won't sit in your chair.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's okay.
I won't do it.
That's all right. I don't like sitting in your chair. So. See, I don't like being boss man. Mm-hmm. I'm just the skipper.
Exactly.
My mom says
You'll
Greta
have
put
her
the
roles.
hat on. I can't remember that.
Greta put it on?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Good for them. I got to go back and watch.
Yeah.
You got to put the skipper hat on when you sit over here.
Yeah, well, a couple times I was doing the introductions and did the old SPP, and he goes, "Ahoy, skipper," because it was just a natural response, and I quickly said, "No, no, not doing that."
SPP in the house.
Ahoy, skipper.
Ahoy to you, my lad. Friday, kind of a gloomy day. Kind of a gloomy walk down
He
here.
says that you should be proud of us because we behaved while you were gone.
Oh, shoot.
That's
Well, Denise.
it. It is kind of a gloomy day. We got a little rain, a little snowflakes mixing in there.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was snowing when I got down, but it's probably cold enough to snow.
Yeah, it's on the edge.
So I'm going to do this real quick, and then I've got some things on my mind.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, I've been gone.
You've been gone, yeah. You got a lot to spill out. You got a lot of tea to spill.
Got things to spill some tea. The Southeast Iowa Video Network is sponsored by KCTC.
Thank you, Casey.
Thanks, Casey, and all the gang over at KCTC. And the Morning Breath crew, the three of us this morning, are sponsored by Hy-Vee and Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh.
Thank you,
Thank
Willie.
you, Willie.
Thank Willie and all the Hy-Vees and Hy-Vees Fast and Freshes. I noticed this for sure while I was away. So I was out at a conference at our nation's capital, and I watched the show and part of another, as I said earlier. You guys talk about the weirdest stuff while I'm gone. Peter, you got to get some control. We're gonna have a conference after this.
Okay.
Because,
This
no more of this peeing in the shower talk.
Oh, come on. That was an interesting conversation.
We're not doing that anymore.
45% of the American public pees in the shower.
And you remember the stats even. So
I
that's
do.
good. And how many people clean their shower? How often?
Which
is not
average,
near enough.
9 times a year.
Not near enough.
Not as many times as they're peeing in the shower.
I can't wrap my head around. Oh, there's a commode right there. I'd rather just pee in the shower.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we opted not to talk about personal stories around that. We just kind of left it to the statistics. So
that was one. Interesting. It's a good topic.
we are getting critiqued right now.
I know. Well, Tim, when you're here, you can help drive the conversation. When you're not, sometimes I'm just like pulling anything. It's like, all right, what are we going to talk about now?
Let's talk about peeing.
Let's talk about peeing in the shower.
And that could only come from one place in my mind, Matt.
Well, from the internet somewhere.
The other one that just made me smile was your infatuation with the attorney's hair.
Yeah, he has glorious hair.
They had a bunch of hair.
I don't know why I was so struck by it. I saw that photo and I'm
kind of like Moses.
Kinda.
Moses' hair.
It was glorious. And I'm not even making fun of the guy. It truly is glorious hair.
He had a bunch of hair.
He had a bunch of hair, and it's great hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want it, but
Can't argue. It's not for me.
not for me either. But
Not for me.
anyway, I'm not even making fun of him. He just had
It's
great hair.
Just kind of your infatuation with that dude's
I
hair
know.
was.
I couldn't quite get over it. I'm over it now.
Thank goodness.
His client also got found guilty and is going to jail forever. But
Oh, really?
That's a side story.
Well, I don't think that. I think he had an uphill climb. If I remember the story.
He did. He for sure did.
And they're running out of attorneys that do, because I remember this, reading this or hearing this. They're running out of these attorneys, these court-appointed attorneys.
Well, so that's just it. He's also, I know too much about this. I got on a bad rabbit hole.
Oh boy.
So he did another, and I can't remember if his murder is at least armed robbery in like January. So I mean, he's like stacking up big time cases, and he's a defense attorney. I don't know if he's getting appointed or if he's taking these cases on purpose or what. But anyway, he's tackling some tough stuff with glorious hair.
Well, if you can pull it off, I can't.
Yeah, well. You would look funny if you walked in one day.
Wouldn't I, though?
You would. I would be
Wouldn't
shocked. We would all be shocked.
All of a sudden, I'm gone for a month, and I come back with a whole head of hair.
I know I've told this story, but my barber, when I was growing up, he had great hair too. Until one day I went in there and he had no hair. He'd wore a toupee his whole life. I just didn't know it.
I'll be danged.
And he decided not to wear it anymore. And all of a sudden he's bald.
I don't think I knew that story.
Yeah, I think I've told that.
You might have.
I grew up with this guy cutting my hair forever and ever and ever, and I didn't think at the time, oh, you have great hair. He just had hair, and then he didn't.
So that's how it works.
Yeah, and he didn't.
Sometimes you do, and then you don't.
Yeah.
So let's talk really quick. I was watching the Iowa women play basketball. Both Iowa men and women were on last night.
Yep.
I think they were both playing Michigan State.
They were.
Which, how odd is that?
Yep.
The women,
And they overlapped.
they look pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I just followed along the scores.
I watched most of that game, and I turned away from the men for whatever reason. Did the men win?
No, they lost.
They had an 8.
They were ahead for like 75% of the game.
Yeah.
And then that second half, I think Michigan State kind of flexed their
Michigan
muscle.
State remembered who they were.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And said, oh, no, we're supposed to win this. And then they did.
Let's get it won.
Yeah.
So I think that means Iowa's last game of the season is Saturday.
If
They
they
won't be in the Big Ten tournament.
Sunday, no, if they beat Nebraska, I think they're in.
Are
as
they?
a 15 seed?
I thought USC had the tiebreaker over them.
I think Nebraska. I think if they beat Nebraska and then something else happens, so they're not completely eliminated. I don't think yet.
Okay.
No matter, they're one game away into the
Exactly.
one game into the tournament, probably.
Yes. Well, the best case scenario, they'll be a 15 seed, which means they'll play an 11 seed or something on
I saw it yesterday. Yeah, something like that.
10 seed something
And then
for the first round, and then it ramps up from there.
In their defense, they lost their best player, and
They did.
and
They did.
Some younger guys are getting some real valuable time.
Yeah, they got hard. They play hard. Mm-hmm. It's just not a good team.
No, all there is to say. But congratulations to the women. They're moving on to the Big Ten tournament. They're in the quarters
Yep, they play Ohio State tonight at like 8:00.
tonight. That's
a tough game.
Hopefully, I can stay awake because I'm now on Eastern time,
Stay there.
which is going to be just normal time.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yep.
I haven't prepared like I did last year.
Well, you kind of did. You were in D.C.
I know, but
So yeah, Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever you want to call it. Clocks go ahead.
clock's ahead. I'm just depressed. So yeah, I was out in Washington D.C. for a conference. Have you been there?
Yes, but when I was there, I was also at a conference. I was in college, and we really never left the hotel.
Okay.
So I was in and out, and I saw the Washington Monument in a distance, and that was about the most I got out of it.
Probably saw it flying in, didn't you?
I don't know if I even had a window seat. I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Peter, have you been over there?
Oh, yeah.
Your brother lives out there, right?
I should have called him.
You should have.
Because unlike you were in the conference the whole time you were there. I was in the conference one day.
Right, right.
Well, that was what really,
Well.
I really needed just the one day.
Yeah.
So, a lot to see in Washington. Second time I've been there, loved it. I saw all the monuments, except Jefferson. I, for some reason, didn't get over to see Jefferson. Went out to Arlington. Rained, sheets of rain the day I was out there. So that was disappointing.
Did you see the guard?
No, it was raining so hard I wasn't dressed for a tropical storm of that nature by any stretch. And there were some brave people that did go out and do that, and they got back on the little trolley that I was on,
Soaking.
and they were drenched, and I mean drenched, and they were sitting down and they were dripping all over me, and I was dry, so I have a reason to go back out because I do want to see spend some more time in Arlington.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
it's quite a city. And, there was a presidential address out there while I was there. I had no clue that was going on.
Right. Just Tuesday, right?
Yeah, was it Tuesday?
I think so.
Yeah. And no idea. I wasn't that far from anything, but nothing special in my neighborhood.
Right.
That's
well,
for sure.
Big city, things happen all the time.
All the time.
It's just lots of people always.
So it's kind of cool. We went around and we saw the White House. That is well guarded.
I'm sure it is.
Just so you know.
I think there's 3 checkpoints when you go to security into the White House. I think that's what I went through.
Yeah. You got in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't go in. I didn't want to. They certainly have that barricaded. And I remember when I was young, you could just kind of walk about anywhere you wanted. There was no gate.
Whole new world.
There was no military men walking around in full freaking combat gear with M16 looking like rifles. No, I think they meant business about we're keeping the bad people out.
Yeah, didn't you have all the security clearances? You could have just gone in there.
Well, okay. Around. I was in the Pentagon.
I know. I'm waiting to hear this story.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I had a private tour. So my family knows a young man that works at the Pentagon. And so I called him up and I said, "Hey, what can you take me around?" By God, he could. So very, very, I had to do some stuff. It's not a big deal. You had to do some stuff prior to via the internet.
Well, I was going to ask that. Is that like intense questioning? It's not. Okay.
It's really easy, and but I'm sure they do some kind of a background check on you, and
they already have you on file anyway.
They likely did. There was people there that wanted to meet me, but I was too busy.
Too busy.
I was too busy.
I have other things to do.
You're not my calendar yet, so.
Talk to my people.
So I made that all up, last week when I said Elon called me. He really didn't.
I'm shocked.
He really didn't.
Elon's busy right at the moment anyway.
Yeah. So I'm got the email, said I'm all clear. So I get there and I'm not intimidated, but I mean, there's armed guards. There's military. I do not want to screw anything up.
Yeah.
But I was instructed by our friend to send, when I got to a certain point, send him an email, which I did. And then I got through this point, and now I'm into the building.
Right.
But just the outer edge of the building.
Right.
And I still have to get screened. And I pulled my phone out to see if he responded to my email. I didn't look around much, but apparently there was signs all over that said, "Do not use your cell phone."
Really?
And I was called out in a very brisk way.
Really?
To put that thing away. And
wow.
I said, but I just he didn't care what I thought.
he was not concerned about your feelings.
He did not have one bit. I was to follow the rules.
Right.
So I put it away and I went through the next checkpoint. And I got to the point where this guy was, and I said, I apologized. I said, first of all, I did not see the sign. I wasn't looking for that.
Right.
I'm navigating the whole thing, and yeah, it's a bit intimidating.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And I said, I just wanted to make sure he goes, "Don't worry, it's fine. Let's hope your guy's in there."
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Because otherwise we're going to detain
I'm
you.
just going to sit in that chair in the visitors' waiting room to see if he shows up.
Right.
Well, he was there, and it's quite a place. And I walked around the whole thing, and I did not realize it.
Yeah, you do. It's big.
It's a Pentagon,
yeah.
and you can just go all the way around. And there's 7 levels. There's 2 levels in the basement. I was not allowed in there at all, so there must be important stuff.
Right.
And that's where my friend works, in the basement.
Because he's important stuff.
I feel like after talking with him, and I'm not going to say his name, and I'm not going to say what he does exactly, but he reports to like an undersecretary of the Secretary of Defense. And his job is they will ask him and his team to research something that's going on wherever, and just give me the bullet points so I can talk to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the Secretary of Defense and President if I need to.
Right.
I need all the information. And he said that happens 3 times a day.
Wow. Just stuff happening all
Just
over the world.
Whatever. Somebody's asking him for, I need clarification on this.
Right.
And him and his team figure it out. And poof.
Does he chat GPT it?
You know, I got the feeling no. I think they have better ways.
Really?
I do.
Interesting. Okay.
I do.
All right.
It was really interesting to talk to him, and I guarantee he is of the position that he can't share a lot about what he knows with his family, with anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the military way. And we were walking around. I said, knowing kind of now what you do, I said, you might have some sleepless nights. He says several.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So he knows things.
Yeah.
And he's not near the top yet.
Right.
But he's up there.
Right. Yeah. Well, not only do you know it, but like you said, you can't tell anybody about it, so you just got to eat it, right? You're just living with it, and we're all gonna die tomorrow, or
Yeah.
or whatever.
Let's hope. Yeah.
It's not that
something
extreme,
like that.
hopefully, but
He said that everything. Here's some things he's learned. He says anything that happens in the world, or anything that happens, particularly in the United States, be it a natural disaster or wildfire, anything, it all funnels through the Pentagon.
Yeah.
In some fashion.
The government knows.
It's amazing. So I have a lot of stuff that just some interesting facts about the Pentagon. We should take a break, and I'll come back and I'll start ripping off stuff and I want. I need. Who do I need to get to take notes?
As far as
Who's our friend that knows everything?
Ray.
Ray. I forgot his name for a minute.
yeah, well, you've been gone a week.
Ray needs to take notes because I might know more about the Pentagon than him.
Oh, there you go. I haven't seen him chime in yet. Let's see if he's listening.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Ahoy, morning breathers, and welcome back. Before we get too far, we got some hellos to say.
We do.
probably.
What I saw, and if I missed somebody, I'm
We
sorry.
got some ahoys.
Yeah, ahoy. Ahoy, Jeff, my mom, Denise, Cindy, Jim, Boxcar Treasures, Paula. Those are the ones I noticed. Boxcar Treasure says, can you see Tim with all that hair? Nope.
I could bring in a picture. I know my kids don't know me with hair, but I used to have hair.
Is it glorious?
Well, I don't think I would. I don't think I would be in that category.
Right. Well, it's a high bar.
I used to have a center part, though.
Oh, well, yeah, I did too when I was a kid.
I remember going to the person that cut my hair, and I said, "Will you thin this out a little bit?" I get too hot.
Right. And then the rest is history.
And then she did a marvelous job because it's very thin now.
It's very thin now.
Very thin. Some interesting facts about the Pentagon. Honest to God, there really wasn't that much to see. I told you a little earlier, I was able to walk right past the Joint Chiefs of Staff office, so that's a pretty important person was inside there or wasn't. I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable just stopping and gawking in there.
Poking your head in the door to see what's going on.
What's happening?
Yeah, well, I can imagine that it's a cool place, but most people are just sitting at computers, I would guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of people
around
there. There's a lot of people in the hallways. It's quite a place. And when I can't tell you what level that was, what floor where the important people are. But those hallways and offices are very nice.
I'm sure they are.
The other levels are just pretty much concrete with just regular doors.
Good to be the king, right?
Good to be the king. The Pentagon sits on 280 acres. Used to be a swampland out there. The Pentagon building itself sits on 34 acres.
Okay.
That's a big building.
It is.
There's 6.5 million square feet of floor space in there.
Wow.
6.5. They built this. I don't know if they built this in like 18 months.
Wow.
In the 1940s. Unfreaking believable they did that. But they worked,
and that's not just a regular building. There's reinforcement and everything everywhere, right?
There's all kinds of stuff in there. There's doors that will come down. So, I asked him, I said, I don't know what you'd do in a fire. I don't know how much would burn, but he says, "Oh, we don't worry about that. They'll shut this thing, and they'll keep that fire right there." And he said, "Nobody will know that's really going on."
Right.
Pretty incredible.
Right.
3.7 million square feet of offices.
Wow.
That's a little bit.
That's bigger than my office.
There is a center courtyard, which is nice. So there's a big open area in there. A lot of people are out there. That's 5 acres.
Wow.
And looking at it, I wouldn't have thought that. You could place the Capitol Dome in that courtyard. They have a 67-acre parking lot. You need to take a tram from some of those places.
Do you have in there how many employees work in there?
Yeah, I might get to that.
Okay. I won't jump the gun.
It may not. Well, holy my God.
I know you're excited, but you don't need to throw it at me. Jeez.
There's 19 escalators, 131 stairways, 26,000 total employees.
Yeah. So you have to have a big parking lot for that.
26,000. Oddly enough, there's 8,777 parking spots.
For 29,000
For
people.
26,000 people. So my friend said, I get here early.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Or you don't drive.
I was going to
Yes.
say you probably take a train or something.
Right.
Each side of the building is 921 feet long. The Pentagon, and he made a kind of a big deal of this. He says it's really its own city. And I said, well, that kind of makes sense because if there was an emergency going on, you're probably not leaving. Mm-hmm. So you got to have. They have everything in there: a dentist, a florist, a shoe fixer guy, cobbler.
Yeah.
They have everything in there. There's 3 banks.
Oh, wow.
I think I read somewhere there's 5 zip codes in that building.
Jeez.
It's not that big, but I suppose it makes sense to have 5 zip codes.
Do they?
Its own post office.
Does it have like a hotel sleeping space in there if you wanted to not leave the
You know
building
what?
at all?
I never asked him that. But I feel like
I'm sure there's hotels within half a block, but
I don't know. I don't think so. Its own florist, dentist, Department of Motor Vehicle. It's got its own post office, dry cleaners, hair salons, jeweler, gift shop, chocolatiers.
Imagine sitting in the DMV at the Pentagon.
yeah, exactly.
26,000 of your coworkers.
Yeah, but 26,000 people in there. That's like Ottumwa.
Yeah.
That's like the entire city of Ottumwa in that building,
Yeah.
or Burlington, or whatever, right? But
The banks in the Pentagon are the safest in America. I can imagine.
sure they are.
I'm not going to argue that one.
I'm sure they are.
They wouldn't let
Did you
me.
rob the Pentagon, the bank Pentagon?
1.2 to 1.6 pieces of mail per month. The original cost of the land was $2.2 million. The building cost was $50 million.
In 1940s or whatever.
40s, yeah. I'm not getting to when that was built exactly. 5 floors above. Okay. 284 restrooms.
That actually doesn't seem like enough.
For 26,000 people?
That's, yeah. Well, must be enough. 691 water fountains. 50,000 phone lines. 40,000 individual phones.
Wow.
Well, if you're in the nice office, you probably have 3 or 4
you
phones.
have more than one phone.
200,000 phone calls are made daily. 1 million emails every day.
Yeah.
Here we go. The contract was awarded to build this thing in August of 1941. They broke ground in September of 41, September 11th, 1941, oddly enough.
Wow.
And they moved. The first people moved in April 29th of 1942.
Wow.
Incredible.
That is incredible.
In the middle of the war.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Construction was completed in 16 months. The Pentagon has 6 zip codes. I stand corrected. There's some other stuff here really quick. It has a Subway in there. It's the busiest one in the nation. It's, sandwiches.
Oh, Subway sandwiches.
They'll do
Okay.
6,000 foot-longs a day.
All right.
12,000 cups of coffee are sold each day by Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks because those were in there. 230 restaurants. 1,700 pints of milk every day. 6,800 sodas every day.
Also, those Subway and Dunkin' employees are the most heavily background checked employees in the whole Subway system.
I am guessing so. It is quite the place, and I don't know. It's more or less just cool to say I was in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got a pretty good tour, but there's really not much to see.
Right.
My friend works in the basement. He says, you're not allowed there. But I said, well, is it safe? And he goes, oh yeah, everything's fine. He says, we make our own air. So he says, we'd be fine. If there was something going on, but we'd be fine for a while.
Right.
I just can't imagine.
No.
So good. I had a great time.
That's awesome.
7:42. We better take another break so we can get set for the day.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Attention Hy-Vee shoppers, introducing Hy-Vee Perks, your ticket to exclusive savings and rewards. Access exclusive perks, prices, earn gas discounts, and unlock special deals. All this for free. Join Hy-Vee Perks today and start saving.
Bring the kids, share the memories, celebrate 75 years of traditions at the Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. Relive the magic of steam engines, antique cars, and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Whether it's your first visit or a cherished tradition, you'll enjoy the delicious foods, the thrill of an Old West shootout, and the excitement of nightly grandstand entertainment. For 75 years, this has been the place where memories are made at the 2025 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 28th through September 1st in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Ahoy, morning breathers, and welcome back to Friday. Friday's morning breath. It's the end of the week. We changed times over the lots happening this weekend.
Yes.
And but welcome back. It's good to be back.
Glad to have you back.
It's nice to go away, and DC is something everybody should see. It's really an incredible city. So if you haven't been, I recommend.
All right.
We need to get set for the day.
We do.
I just spent the whole damn time talking.
That's
You
good.
didn't have anything to do.
Hey, I talked plenty this week. People are probably not at all unhappy that I spoke not very much today. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it could be. All right. Well, let's get set for the day.
Let's get set for the day. It is the 7th day of March. It is Friday, as we have alluded to several times.
By the way,
Yes.
you timed that really well.
That's like the first line you interrupted. I haven't even got into this yet.
Well, remember, I've been gone for 4 days. I've got a lot to say. But you timed that really good the day I watched it.
With what?
With Peter's little intro
Yeah.
to set for the day.
Well,
You hit it like on the spot.
I know.
And people, you have to understand, we can't hear.
we can't hear the music, so we
don't
don't
know.
know what's happening.
So it's like you didn't interrupt, and his little jingle went down, and boom, you were there
Oh,
set for the day.
All right. It's just dumb luck. I'll take it.
Worked.
Temperature right now in Fairfield 36, Mount Pleasant 36, Washington 35. Rain today with the chance of a few snow showers this morning, which I don't think we're going to get much of here. A little farther north of us, I think they're going to get some. Sunny this weekend with highs of 52 and 61, and I'm not so sure I didn't see a high 60s or 70 on Monday. On the look ahead.
And while I was out in D.C. for next week, they were talking upper 70s to 80s next week.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to be upper 70s, but if we hit 70, that's all right.
It's time for the cherry blossoms out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Didn't even think about that. High today of only 42, low of 24. Today's headlines from the SoutheastIowaUnion.com. Bob Keller retires from the Jefferson County Health Center Board.
Oh, Bob.
I know.
Enjoy your time.
Union workers and city at odds over contract negotiations in Mount Pleasant.
Read that story yesterday.
And
I did a lot of reading yesterday.
you had catching up to do.
I did.
And fire hazard persists despite recent rain and snow.
I saw that article, and I chose not to read it.
Just because it's depressing? Or?
I think I figured it out.
Well, some headlines don't need a story. The headline kind of took care of it.
I know this. I did read one long story, and it had to do with the Gulf of America. And I will continue to call it Gulf of America.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say at this point.
That's all right.
Because I don't know the person that wrote it. I don't know if that person listens or not.
No, well, I don't know either. It wasn't as much about that as it was about.
I know what it was about.
Yeah.
I know. And I have words to say about that too. But interesting story.
Yes.
Read it.
Well, it's a column. It was an opinion piece.
I know.
All right. Just
Read it, folks. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Where am I?
this day.
If you want more about those stories,
How could you get lost?
I don't.
I've only interrupted you 4 times.
If you want more about those, go to SoutheastIowaUnion.com or pick up a copy of yesterday's Southeast Iowa Union paper. This day in history. This is a big one, folks.
Do tell.
On this
Wait
day,
a minute. Wait. Go. I thought Peter wanted a whoa.
Oh, I thought you said this is a big one. So
It is.
tried
I thought you had something queued up and we were
I
going to
did
go.
not.
Okay.
I did not, I'm afraid.
No.
I built up everyone's expectations.
On this day in 1876, 29-year-old Alexander Graham Bell receives a patent for his revolutionary new invention, the telephone.
This thing we call the telly.
Xander. And if you're new to the show, the reason why we do ahoy is because Alexander Graham Bell, when he invented the telephone, he wanted ahoy to be the greeting that everybody used when they were on the phone. And it got replaced with hello against his wishes. But
One would think they would have honored that.
we are going to honor it, and we will continue with the ahoy.
I'm disappointed that I didn't get some time with some very important people so that I could have, if we're renaming things, let's rename that as well.
Right. The official greeting of the United States is ahoy.
Ahoy.
And the official
And goodbyes.
And you can use
Ahoy.
it as a verb. You can use it as
We've used it in many ways
I know.
on this show.
Ahoy is a very, very versatile
It's
word.
not caught on so much out there.
We're still growing into DC.
I would ahoy, and I got weird looks.
Yeah. Well, if you go to Arkansas, they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
We were still in the back of my mind working out a plan to go to Arkansas.
All right. Random joke, random quote, or random fact. Don't do a random fact because I'm running out of those, and we've done those a couple days.
It's time for a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be. So I've never really, I've never really told you guys about this. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but I'm trying to be open and honest.
It's okay.
So
come clean.
Yeah,
come on, boss man.
I used to be extremely addicted to the hokey pokey. It was a real problem that I had for a while, but I turned myself around.
Thank God.
It's a bad.
Did your hands do this too?
No, it's a chicken dance.
Oh.
That's a whole.
I thought you. What do you do that?
Did you clap at the end? That's what it's all about.
No, that's chicken dance too.
Isn't it?
Turn yourself around.
Turn yourself.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe it's different, but that's
maybe
what I
you
do.
have
Maybe
a different
I'm trying
hokey
to block
pokey
it out of my brain.
You have a different hokey pokey than SPP.
I'm not addicted anymore.
Yep, you've come
I
clean.
turned myself around.
Was that a 4-step program? What kind of a program was that?
I think it was just a 1. I'm not going to do that anymore. All right, done. There's no real addictive qualities to
I'm
it.
over the hokey
I'm
pokey.
over it. Just like one day I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I'm done. Cold turkey.
Not painful at all.
Not painful at all.
All right.
All right. Takeaway.
Peter? Did you learn anything from me today?
I did. I learned so much, and I learned about the Pentagon subway. Was there a McDonald's in there, by the way?
I don't recall seeing one.
Okay.
I don't recall seeing one. There was lots of restaurants, but I don't remember seeing a McDonald's.
Okay.
I didn't see the subway either, so there was a long line.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to get
stayed
there,
away
but-
from that wing.
It's fair. But yeah, I learned about the Pentagon subway.
There you go.
Busiest in the nation world. It's busy.
Yeah.
Busiest, 6,000 footlongs a day.
That's a lot. I learned that if I want to bring up weird topics like peeing in the shower, I need to do it when you're gone. But you still listened. And
I
brought
still
it up
listened.
yourself.
So my takeaway for today is not so much anything that I talk about because I already knew it. My takeaway is Matt has a sincere infatuation with good hair.
Well, this guy's hair in particular, I don't have like normally, but
I mean, I kind of get it to a degree because like Matthew McConaughey's hair, I dig that. Like I kind of want to run my hands through it. that curly hair.
I didn't go that far.
Matt McConaughey. I don't know.
You and my wife would both like to run your
I'd
hands
like to
through
just.
her.
I'd like to go have a scotch with him someday.
So I'd do that. He'd be an interesting conversation.
Wouldn't it, though?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
I'm not going to touch his hair.
I'd have to try.
I'd have to try. Just
Matthew,
give him
may I? Somebody's had to ask him that.
just give him a little head, a little.
I just want to do one of these.
Yeah.
God dang, that felt good, Matthew.
It's not just me. It's not just me.
Maybe I have a problem too.
Well, yeah, we're in this together.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
We moved on to the hokey pokey to hair.
Yeah, exactly.
We need a 12-step.
12 steps. Yeah, that might take more steps to get over that one.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, everybody, hope you had a good time. Thanks for joining today. Thanks for those that listen and don't get to chime in for whatever reason. Have a great weekend and a happy Friday, and we will be back on Monday. Ahoy.
Oh boy.